to the existence of the centuries-old traditional domestic leagues.
Yeah, and that's how it was greeted by the institutions themselves.
This idea is a spit in the face of all football lovers and our society as well.
UEFA, the body that organises soccer in Europe, came out with incredibly powerful rhetoric, calling the executives who plotted this breakaway league snakes and liars.
This is really an amazing story.
Solidarity doesn't exist. Unity doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is their pockets.
You saw politicians get involved.
Be in no doubt that we don't support it.
Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, came out against it.
How
Oh my
can it be
God.
right to have a
He's
situation
a
in which you
fascist.
create a kind of cartel?
Prince William came out
He's a
against
fascist
it.
And he's
complaining about the
tweeted,
cartel.
now more than ever, we must protect the entire footballing community.
And then on Monday evening,
I mean, when as players did you start to become aware of all this talk of Super League?
Same as everyone else, I think, when it broke yesterday.
Sounds like they must have shut it
That's the first
down.
we heard of it.
the first
I
player
haven't heard anything
who
about
plays
this.
for one of the teams involved in the plan, a midfielder called James Milner, who plays for Liverpool, he was asked for his opinion of the idea.
You know, I can only say my personal opinion. I don't like it, and you know, hopefully it doesn't happen.
And that
Wow.
opened the floodgates.
It's important that we stand our ground and show that football is for the fans and try and keep it that way.
Over the course of Tuesday, more and more players came out.
The sport is not a sport when the success is already guaranteed.
Floodgates
And
is
as more
almost
and more
always
players
a
came
good
out,
thing
as
to be
more and more
open.
managers spoke out,
It's
the
awesome.
pressure on the owners, already facing backlash from the fans
So the owners must have
and from
given
the
it up.
authorities, became almost too intense to bear.
So did they bear
On
it?
Tuesday night, the first whispers started to come out that Chelsea and Manchester City were starting to get cold feet.
See, this is developing
Yeah,
as
soon
we
as you get
speak.
a couple of the
At around
members
7
pull
o'clock
out.
on Tuesday evening,
We're getting unconfirmed reports at this moment.
as Chelsea's players were waiting to take the field against Brighton in the Premier League,
Chelsea are pulling out of the Super League.
the news filtered
Wow.
through that Roman Abramovich,
Never-
the owner of the club, had decided that it really wasn't worth the bother.
The news I can bring you now is that Manchester City do not wish to be a part of the Super League.
Manchester
Never
City
cared so much
followed
about
a
soccer.
few minutes later, and by 11 o'clock, the remaining 4 English teams had pulled out.
And there are even
That's
some reports
awesome.
that all 12 clubs have been speaking this evening to discuss the future.
And sure enough, by
Power
Tuesday
to the
night,
people.
executives who'd been
Fixing
involved with the
soccer.
plans were saying the project was dead.
Killed the project.
So in 48 hours, from the Sunday announcement to Tuesday, this Super League, the secretly discussed, whispered
You got the
about
veteran over
idea
there.
among some of the sport's richest teams and richest people, had just totally collapsed.
Yeah, and so now, by the end of the week, the whole thing feels a little bit like a fever dream that kind of happened a lifetime ago, but was in fact at the start of the week and threatened for 48 hours to change the face
There's a
of soccer
veteran
forever.
here who always carries an American
Why
flag up and down the
how
street, so
did
we
they
honk
miscalculate this
in support for
so
him.
badly?
I'm tempted
He's on the
to
other side of the
say
street
that
now, so he didn't
it
see me
felt
either.
like
That's why I was honking.
the most absurdly egregious example of the billionaire class assuming that everybody else would just do as they're told.
They've probably
We
done
know that they
worse.
hadn't consulted any
But
fans. We know
That's a
that
good
they
example.
hadn't
It's a good
found
example.
a broadcaster. They hadn't seemed to have any sponsors. They didn't seem to have any even tacit support amongst the authorities. What they seemed to have was
There's
a
the,
vague idea
veteran.
of what they would like to do and very little
There's the
detail
mountains.
of how they might actually do it.
Back to me.
But one of the big ironies
Back
that
to
lingered
driving.
with me
Here we
throughout
go.
the week is that the owners of these teams were undone by the exact thing that had drawn them to the sport in the first place. What they're trying to monetize, the reason they're attracted to the sport is because of the passion that it inspires. That fierce sense of personal identity with the team of your neighborhood or of your family, or like you, Esther, that you have kind of bonded to from afar. It's what makes soccer this incredible global cultural phenomenon. And that's what these owners all in some way want to monetize or capitalize on. And yet it's that same passion that has completely undercut this project.
Yes, passion got
There
him.
are still lots of inequities
Take that,
within
owners.
soccer. There is no question that to an extent the sports economic model does not work and it does need to be refined. What the fans have said so far is we do not want it to be changed in the way that suits the elite. maybe what we need to think about now is how we find a model of change that suits everybody else.
Pretty interesting stuff. Go soccer fans. And soccer players expressing your discontent. And even the owners for
Thank you,
finally
Roy.
breaking
I
down
really
and
appreciate your
backing
time.
out. But we need
Lovely
good
to talk to
owners
you.
too, I guess. Or something. Pretty neat.
Rory Smith is the chief soccer reporter for the New York Times.
Thanks, Rory Smith. There's the mountains again. Beautiful day here in Colorado. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.